What's up, guys? Episode 132 coming to a close here with our midweek wrap-up. And this midweek wrap-up is all about titles and contendership. Because both NXT and Lucha Underground have been doing fatal four-way tournaments to determine their new number one contenders. And we also have a championship match on Lucha Underground this week. So let's go ahead and get right into it. NXT, very simply, we had 3 matches. First one, still kind of contendership and title worthy, if you'd say so. We knew last week that Daria told Billie Kay and Peyton Royce to find one of them for her to hurt this week, and it ended up being Billie Kay. And I really like I'm not a big fan of MMA gimmicks because not many of them work well, unless you're like Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock did it really well. But Daria actually has kind of a thing going where, you know, she's got her like taunts and stuff like that, but part of it seems to kind of deter her just a little bit when in the ring. She's going for very MMA strikes and it doesn't always work, but she does have this moment where she takes her gloves off. Like, she'd been doing pretty good against Billie Kay. Billie Kay made a little bit of a comeback. Of course, she's got Peyton Royce out there. And so, yeah, Daria has this moment where she takes her gloves off and she just starts punching Billie in the chest and like a big uppercut into the gut, and it's a good moment for her. Unfortunately, the numbers game was too much for her because Billie and Peyton start to walk away. Daria goes to chase him out and actually throws Billie Kay back into the ring, and while the referee's distracted with Billie Kay, Peyton ends up running Daria into the LED board, rolls her back in the ring. She gets up, gets a big old boot from Billie Kay, and Billie Kay picks up the win. And then her and Peyton Royce proceed to call out Asuka again, saying, hey, you want competition? Well, we've got your competition right here. And we actually had Asuka respond in the back a little bit. Pretty much she just said what she's been saying. These two are not contenders. They're not competition. She didn't get very much further than that because Nikki Cross was kind of off camera, just kind of hanging out and watching her really creepy like. So we've got quite an interesting grouping in the women's division on NXT right now, and I'm excited to see where it goes because there's a lot of personality there. Our second match was a very quick win for the Authors of Pain as they destroyed 2 jobbers with the back-to-back power bombs. Then they usually do like the double power bombs, but instead, I believe it was Akam did 1 powerbomb, and then Razor did a second powerbomb with his person onto the person that Akam had powerbombed. And I'm pretty sure it straight up knocked the guy out, because I think the back of the head of the second guy who got powerbombed clipped the jaw of the first guy. Because he like rolls over and he's like not able to move at all. The ref doesn't even let the Authors of Pain do their finisher, the final chapter. He calls the match, and the guy, he didn't look like he was all there. It was kind of scary. I'll have to go and double check and make sure that the guy was okay. See if there's a note about that on any of the dirt sheets. But anyway, Paul Ellering then says that they don't really care who the champions are, whether it's DIY or the Revival, because the next chapter says that the Authors of Pain will be the NXT Tag Team Champions. And with that said and done, we go to our fatal 4-way elimination match. We have Andrade Cien Almas, we have Bobby Roode, we have Tye Dillinger, and we have Roderick Strong, all vying to see who's going to face the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, for the NXT Championship. Right off the gate, some great work from all 4 of these guys. Great moments for everyone. We had there was a Tower of Doom spot that seemed like Andrade was in the wrong spot, but it still kind of worked, and it was fun to see that. Andrade actually had a double moonsault spot where he tried to moonsault both Tye and Roddy at the same time. They split apart, and he went for the second one on Roddy. Roddy got the knees up. A lot of great back and forth stuff like that. But our first elimination was Andrade Cien Almas. He hit the double knees on Tye Dillinger in the corner, and as he was pulling Tye to the middle of the ring to potentially pin him, he ended up getting hit with a sick kick from Roderick Strong. Roddy eliminates Andrade Cien Almas. Roddy was then the next one eliminated as he was trying to pick up Tye Dillinger. Tye Dillinger was already ready for it, picked him up, hit the tiebreaker, and so we're down to a rematch from NXT TakeOver Toronto, and the crowd's losing it. Bobby's a little worried because he sees like this intensity in Tye, and they just go to town on each other. It is so much fun to watch this. Tye is super intense. He has a ton of great moments. Bobby's playing a fantastic heel, and Bobby ends up kicking out of the tiebreaker. Tye kicks out of the spine buster, and it's just all these back and forth things. And when that tiebreaker, we thought it was the end. Tye is freaking out. He's trying to scramble back. He's got Bobby in the corner. He ends up he's trying to do a tiebreaker from the top rope, and Bobby ends up pulling one of the pads off of the turnbuckle. It's like not like the turnbuckle pad itself, but like the coupling, like the. If Kevin Hawk was here, he'd know what the hell it's called, but it's like the bar that holds it to the ring post. And with that, he ends up bringing Tye back over and drops him very low blow style onto the turnbuckle. Tye kind of like melts off of the turnbuckle in pain. Bobby picks him up, hits the glorious DDT, and Bobby Roode is going on to face Shinsuke Nakamura. And I've never been so disappointed because Tye was so close, yet so far, and now he's... Oh man, that was probably one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen on NXT. It was so close, and then it was just taken away. Damn you, Bobby Roode, for playing such a great heel and making me actually dislike you for a second because you stole the victory from Tye Dillinger. Beautiful work. But that's it for NXT. So now we know that Bobby Roode is going on to San Antonio to face Shinsuke for the championship. And that'll be the NXT TakeOver just before the Royal Rumble, so we're only a couple weeks away from that. Let's talk about Lucha Underground. We've had the Battle of the Bulls going. This is deciding who's going to face either Sexy Star or Johnny Mundo, depending on who wins our championship match later in the show. But we have a Fatal 4-Way elimination match as well, where we have Jeremiah Crane, PJ Black, the Mac, and the man they call Cage. Again, right off the bat, some just great back and forth stuff, like all four of them tying up, and then like a boot to Jeremiah Crane, and then crashing PJ and the Mac together for Cage. Cage is a beast. He hits the jackhammer on Jeremiah Crane on the outside. Everybody does a dive onto each other. Amazing work from big men, small men, just these guys, unbelievable chemistry. But again, we go into these eliminations. Cage was the first one eliminated. He was getting ready to, he had just hit PJ Black with a Lucha Destroyer, and Tejano, who he's still in the middle of a best of 5 series with, comes out, ends up clocking Cage with the rope. He ends up getting a kick from Jeremiah Crane, a stunner from the Mac, and a splash from PJ Black. And PJ Black eliminates Cage. Jeremiah Crane would be the next to go after he's trying to do some sort of move from the top rope to Jeremiah Crane, or to the Mac. Mac ends up popping off and hits a stunner from the top rope, takes out Jeremiah Crane. So we're down to PJ Black and the Mac. Again, like, this doesn't last very long, but the time that it does last is just, these are two guys I never would have expected to be in this spot. Just because, Willie Mack was a big indie star, and then now that he's in this spot, like, he's always kind of been like that lower card guy, and now he's in this spot. And PJ Black, his time as Justin Gabriel, he was never really given time to shine. And they do a great job in this match of doing so. But PJ Black being part of the Worldwide Underground is a little over the top cocky. He tries to go for a stunner on the Mac. Mac no sells, gets up, hits a stunner of his own, and the Mac is the #1 contender for the Lucha Underground Championship. And it's interesting because now he has the potential of facing his friend Sexy Star, and PJ Black had a chance to face Johnny Mundo. We actually have Mac congratulate Sexy Star, and and they both say like, hey, it'll be an honor to face you, and Mac does a little shove. He's like, hey, don't be too mad when I take that belt from you and everything. So a fun little moment from them, and as they're walking out, there's another really fake spider that crawls along the ground. Still not sure what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Phoenix and Aerostar have been looking for Drago since he was abducted by the Reptile Tribe last week. They end up looking for him in the bathroom, which is smart because Drago, for some reason, spends a lot of his time in the bathroom. Unfortunately, he's not there. They end up getting cornered by the entire Reptile Tribe, Cobra Moon, and the two new... I can't remember their names. Again, Kevin Hawk would know. They're too new for me. I'm still trying to remember the names, but they end up completely destroying Phoenix and Aerostar and say that the next time that Aerostar and Phoenix see them, it'll be... Well, Cobra Moon says, the next time you see us, it'll be my Drago who ends you. So, we'll see where that ends up going. And then just before we get to our main event, Jeremiah Crane is talking to Dario Cueto, saying, Dario's like, well, I just saw you get your ass kicked. He's like, are you going to give me the match or not? He goes, yeah, I'm going to give you the match. And then Jeremiah Crane goes over and stands on a table and starts pushing little thing, the plates in the ceiling, moves them around. He ends up lifting one, and Dario's like, what the hell are you doing? He goes, oh, I left this here as a kid, and pulls down this wooden board thing and walks out of the office like this is all normal for him. And Dario is so fucking confused. And we see Jeremiah walking down the hallway. He ends up meeting Katrina, and he goes, oh, look what I found. Remember when we used to play this? And Katrina's like, you just lost a chance at a championship match, and you're still playing games. And he goes, oh, no, I'm done playing games. See, I just got Dario to give me a match against your boyfriend, Mil Muertes, and next week, after I get rid of him, I'll have you all to myself. So we're going to get a little bit more of what the connection is between Jeremiah Crane and Katrina. But it's time to figure out who will be our Lucha Underground Champion. We got a cage match. This is the third cage match in all of Lucha Underground. Johnny Mundo's been in all three. This is Sexy Star's first. Sexy Star looking to become the only and the first and the only two-time Lucha Underground Champion. This, we had the Worldwide Underground banned from ringside. That was a stipulation if Sexy Star beat PJ Black, so she got that out of the way. And this was a great build in a cage match. I love the fact that they were constantly trying to get out. And then when Johnny realized that that wasn't going to work, when he kept having to pull her down, he made it his specific choice to keep her on the ground. He was doing a lot of ground and pound, doing holds, using the cage, so trying to keep her down and going for pinfalls. Then she starts going for the pinfalls as well, and that kind of scares Johnny. Then they both start trying to climb out of... There was a lot of desperation. It was, I need to get out, I need to win, I need. And it really added to the intensity of the match, watching them try and do everything they possibly could to come out on top of this match, because none of them had help in any way, shape, or form. And that was a big detriment to Johnny. Johnny was worried through a lot of this match, so a lot of the desperation was coming from him as well. And so they get to this point where they're both trying to get out again. They're up on top of the cage. They end up doing the fight on, both of them are straddling the top of the cage. They're both doing the big strikes, trying to knock each other down. Johnny is about to fall out, and Sexy ends up grabbing his hair. They end up on the top rope, and Sexy's just whooping his ass on the top rope. She's doing back spin kicks. She's doing chops. She keeps hitting him left and right. She's not even giving him a chance. And so then he finally finds this moment where he He gets her in close and is able to take her mask off. So we see Sexy just drop from the top rope immediately with her hands down, or her face down in her hands. The mask is across the ring. Marty Elias goes over to grab the mask, gives it back to Sexy. She puts it on real quick, and as she does, she scrambles over to the cage just as Johnny is on the middle of the cage on the outside and just looks at her. And as she just stares at him through the cage, he drops down, hits the floor, and Johnny Mundo is still your Lucha Underground Champion. Man, great heels in these matches, just doing these nasty little things just to get their way. Amazing work. Johnny is cocky. Sexy's still in the cage, just upset that it all happened. Johnny makes his way up to the top of the stairs. He's posing with the belt, turns around, gets hit with a stunner by the Mac. Mac ends up holding the championship and says, pretty much saying like, hey, you might have gotten through that, but you still have to go through me. So good luck with that. Drops the belt, and Sexy's, she's upset, but she's happy for Mac. Mac is going to get his chance. So we'll be seeing that championship match somewhere down the line. I'm not exactly sure. They might save it for Ultima Lucha, but I don't know. I don't think it was actually said when that match was going to happen. So we'll find out eventually. But it should be good. I mean, especially based on how good Johnny's been doing and how just great in-ring he is anyway. And then just the diversity of Mac's style is going to be fun to watch. But before Lucha Underground goes off the air, we actually go and we see Drago is chained up to a pillar inside Cobra Moon's little temple thing. She comes in and asks if he's ready to bow to her. He says never. And she's like, oh, well, I was going to have a little snack, and I was thinking about letting you gnaw on the bones, but, until you learn some respect, you're not going to get that. And so, Drago is being starved. He's being forced to just kind of wither away, and he's in this situation that he can't really help. He can't help himself, and there's no one else knows where he is. So it'll be interesting to see where this ends up going. This was a lot of great build in this episode, because now we know that we're probably going to get the next match between Tejano and Cage next week. We'll find out what happens with Drago. And the fact that Drago is gone, him, Aerostar, and Phoenix are still the trio's champions. And those titles have to be on the line eventually. And now we know that Mac is going to be facing Johnny Mundo for the championship. Jeremiah Crane's got something going on. And he's got a match next week against Mil Muertes. A lot of interesting stuff is going on. A very fun midweek. It's, I talked about it yesterday on Tuesday Night Live that, Raw may disappoint, but at least we have SmackDown, we have 205 Live, we have NXT, and we have Lucha Underground to erase Raw from our memory and just enjoy wrestling again. So thanks everyone for watching. I've been by myself all week. Holidays are coming to an end. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Click all the links down in the description. Send it to all of our social medias. Click that SoundCloud link if you want to listen to Indie News, Raw Review, Tuesday Night Live, and Midweek Wrap-Up, all in podcast form every single week. You can also check out the extra videos on this channel, like our Roadblock review. We rant a lot about it, but you can check that out because that's only video form, along with predictions and our top fives. We're also going to be doing an a special video next week because we don't have an actual indie news, because we talked about the upcoming shows from AIW, AAW, and Beyond Wrestling already, if you want to go back to this week's indie news. So we want to know what you want us to do. Do you want us to rant? Do you want us to talk about Christmas stuff? Do you want us to talk about the best things of the year? We've already got, Lucas wants us to rant on stuff from the year. What do you guys want to see? Post down in the comments. Get to us on social media. Let us know what you want to see. You can also check out extra videos over on Reasonable Wrestling Fans. That's Reasonable with the W, like wrestling, where you get unboxing videos. You can see the one that we posted last week. You'll get punishment videos from the pay-per-views. Got a couple of those coming up pretty soon. And we got extra stuff, and let us know what you want to see over on that channel. Post comments over on those videos, post down here, let us know what you want to see. But from now, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you guys that watch us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.